Welcome back to my kitchen. Here at Chaleese Bakes Cakes, we are doing something a little bit different today. With the holidays coming, Thanksgiving and Christmas, I thought that it would be so fun for me to teach you guys my butter roll recipe. This recipe is so good. These rolls, they're fantastic. And I can honestly tell you, I'm not a real big bread maker, but these are easy and you guys can do this. If I can make these, you guys can make them. I take them to my Thanksgiving every year, even taking them on Christmas Eve, and everyone loves them, they eat them, and they always want more. So let's make butter rolls today. We need our trusty mixer, we need bread flour and butter, we need some eggs and some sugar, but I will walk you through it step by step. I also use RAPID RISE yeast. This is amazing because it helps the yeast rise a lot faster, and just get this kind, it will help. I am so excited for you to be here. Let's get making these yummy butter rolls so you guys can take them to all your Thanksgiving festivities or Christmas festivities, or if you just want to make them and eat them all yourself, I'm totally okay with that too. To get our yeast to rise, we are going to get 2 cups of lukewarm water, and I have my RAPID RISE instant yeast. That seems to be the best. So put it into the warm water. Just use 2 of these packages. Okay, and then to help our yeast grow, 2 teaspoons of sugar into our yeast. And then let it sit, and it should start rising. Okay, so to get started with our rolls, I've attached the whisk attachment to my KitchenAid, and we are going to beat 6 eggs. After we beat the eggs, I added our bread hook attachment onto our mixer, and now we're going to add our melted butter. Make sure your butter is cool because you do not want it to scramble your eggs. So we're gonna add our butter, and that is a cup of butter and a cup of sugar. Okay, we're gonna start mixing. I put a little pinch of salt, really not much, just a little salt in there. Then we're gonna add our yeast as we start mixing. My yeast has risen, as you can see, so now we're gonna dump that in to our bread mixture. Okay, now we're gonna start incorporating our flour. Bread flour is what I use, and we're gonna put 9 cups in. Yes, 9 cups. As you can see, the dough is mixing and starting to pull away from the bowl. That's when we know that it's close to being combined. So just let it go for a few more minutes. The dough should be sticking to my fingers, but not super wet. Should be, sticky, but not super sticky. Good consistency. Now I just leave the dough in this bowl. I'm gonna cover it with plastic wrap, make sure it's covered fairly tight, and then I'm gonna set it someplace warm so that it can rise for about an hour to 2 hours, just depending. It should double in size and rise fairly well in this bowl. Now we're gonna take it and let it go rise. Okay, as you can see, our dough has risen so nicely. We've got our dough right here. So now what I do is, we don't have to knead it, but I like to, with bread dough, you kind of put it in a ball here, and you see how I'm pushing it under? Push it under, so we make kind of a dome. Okay, after we make our dome, we are going to cut it in half. So, I'm gonna cut our dough, separate it in half here. Like I said, this bread dough, you do not have to knead it. That is one of the reasons why I love it. I'm gonna set this here. I'm gonna put this kind of back in a little ball and just set it over here to wait for just a minute. Okay, what we're doing here is the same thing. Kind of see underneath it, just kind of pushing it under. So we make another dome with it. Okay, and we are gonna cut it in half again. And guess what we're gonna do with it? Same thing. We're gonna make a little ball, little dome shape. We've got one. Let's do another one. Okay, so we've got our two over here. I'm setting them off to the side. I'm gonna put a little bit more flour down, just because. And we're gonna do this one. Cut them. So what we want to end up with here is 4 separate little domes of dough. We have our 4 little domes of dough. We set the other ones over for a minute, out of the way. We're gonna flour. Make sure we've got enough flour on the table. And now we get our rolling pin and we start rolling. It's a little elasticy, that's okay. It's supposed to look like that. We just keep rolling this dough. Keep rolling till we have a nice circle shape with our dough. Now comes the fun and the messy part. I melted butter. I just put a stick of butter in here and I melted it. So now, yes, this is the fun part and the messy part. Just dump a little bit of melted butter. And yes, I'm putting my hands in it. And yes, it gets messy, but this is all for a good cause. This is why we call them butter rolls. Push all that butter out, make sure it's to the side, just like that. So now that we've got the melted butter all over, we're gonna cut our dough into 12 rolls. We're gonna do some math here. We're gonna cut it in half, and we're gonna cut it across. And we made fourths. We're gonna make, like I said, 12 rolls. Get out your math skills. I'm just kidding. We don't have to get our math skills out. It's just 3. And 3. And 3 again. And 3 again. We're making a roll pizza right now. Okay, now that we've got our roll pizza, we're gonna pull it out. And if they're stuck together, totally fine. Now you pull it, and we're gonna roll it into a crescent. Super easy, tuck the little tail in. There's your little crescent roll. We're gonna set it on the pan. So we made 4 little domes of dough, and it's gonna add up to 48 rolls total. We have 24 on a pan. remember we gotta do this 3 more times so we can get 48 delicious butter rolls. Okay, now they're on my pan. I've got 24 here already. If you want to get technical, you can, you know, push them, make them look a little bit nicer. Tuck their little tails under. Like I said, totally up to you. Okay, now that we have our rolls covered, we're gonna go put them in a warm place. Sometimes if they're not rising or you don't feel like they're rising fast enough, I turn the heat up in my house if it's cold. Like for instance, we do it, I usually make these, you know, in the winter time. I don't know why, just rolls and soup and things like that. But if they're not rising, turn the heat up a little bit and they should double in size. So go put them for 2 hours and we'll see if these babies rise. Our rolls have doubled in size and they are ready to be baked. Now that they're ready to bake, I preheated the oven to 350 and I'm gonna put them in for about 15 minutes. Make sure to watch. The top will get a little bit darker, but just watch them fairly close once you put them in the oven and you can kind of, you know, decide when they're ready to come out. 15, 14 minutes is usually really good, but everyone's oven varies, so just make sure to watch them close. Time to bake. There we have it. Yummy baked butter rolls that are golden brown and my kitchen smells amazing. Okay, so I just melted a little bit more butter. We have to finish these babies off with a little bit of melted butter. Painted right over the top. I wish you guys could smell my kitchen right now. There's something about homemade bread that just makes your house happy. So I want you guys to go make your homes happy as well because I've given you all the tips, tricks, and the tools to make these delicious and easy butter rolls. I'll post the recipe so you guys can have it and you guys can make these and take them to all your holiday parties this season and be the star of your party, and everyone is gonna love you and these rolls. So make sure to subscribe to my channel so we don't miss things happening at Chaleese Bakes Cakes, and follow me on Instagram at Chaleese Bakes Cakes. And I'm gonna have one of these rolls right now because they're delicious and I just can't not do it with the smell. It's so good and I don't really need to share it with my family, do I? I don't know. I'm not going to.